We're doing it. We're here. We've made it 7 episodes into season 1 of the New England Camp podcast, bringing me to the highlight of my year, the New England Camp Conference. And another highlight of my day, I get to talk to Gillian and share it with you all. This episode, that's basically going to be the topic. It's around the corner. A lot of you will be there, especially if you're listening to this. And if you're not going to be there, we will miss you, and we hope to see you soon at another one of our upcoming events or opportunities. Stay tuned for more on that. Gillian, how are you doing today?
So good. I do have a question for you. You said this is season 1. How many seasons are there going to be, and when is the season break?
Well, I'm gonna ask
how many episodes per season is what I meant.
That's a great question, Gillian. We are going to have 10 episodes per season because roughly that mirrors the school year or the off season, quote unquote, for our camp people. So we're shooting for 10 a season with bonus content dropped as needed. For example, we're going to pretty soon I'm going to have one going out about camp counts, the whatchamacallit, the survey that ACA Inc. is putting on, which if you're at the New England Camp Conference, you're probably going to see some sort of reminder to do that. So but that's a good question. We're in
subscribe to our Patreon.
Based. There you go. So no, things are good. This is season 1, but then again, I was going to answer your question with a question, which is when is History of the World Part 2 coming out from Mel Brooks? Because History of the World Part 1 was a killer. It was a great movie, funny as you know what, still hits.
Remake?
I don't know if they did or not, but I can't get behind a remake of something like that. That's like repainting the Mona Lisa. You know, you're going to get some stuff that might be as pretty, but you're never going to get that again. We've already run this off the rails and we are all of 2 minutes into this. Let's get it back on there. So the New England Camp Conference, our annual gathering. It is the oldest continuous running camp conference in the country because fun fact, summer camping started in New England, the gunnery school out in Connecticut. Look online, listen to a previous episode, the story's out there. But we've been doing summer camp in New England for over 160 years, and we've been doing the New England Camp Conference for over 100 years. But this is year 2 for you. And so tell me something here. Give our friends the big picture. Help us understand, because you work intimately with the conference. This is literally the other half of your job. There's half and half, and this is the other half. So 2026 New England Camp Conference.
Okay. The New England Camp Conference is 3 days of learning, connecting, networking, socializing, brainstorming, a lot of other ings. There are education sessions that are smaller groups of people. There are 2 big all-conference sessions, one on Thursday, one on Saturday. We have an expo hall with over 100 vendors this year. We have activities. We have contests. We have raffles. We have karaoke. We have swag. This conference has it all.
When you said we have karaoke, I was about to say we also have Carrie Salvo. She is the director of programs and has been putting on this conference. But I'm glad you gave us that. So that's what we're going to talk about. If you're here with us, whether this is the next 20, 30, 40 minutes of your life, we really appreciate you tuning in, supporting. Go ahead and take a moment to click, like, subscribe, ring the bell, do the button, share the thing. The more that we can spread this kind of communication content and support for one another, the more we can help you all be better camp professionals. So speaking of, before Gillian and I get into the nitty gritty of the camp conference from our side, and we are going to give you just maybe at the end a little peek behind the scenes, nothing grandiose, but a little bit of kind of timetable of what it looks like to put all this on. We're going to hear real quick from 2 incredibly important individuals. These are the co-chairs of the conference committee, Zach Darbeloff and Carly Vargas. So we're going to take a quick break. We want to let them kind of set the table and introduce the camp conference and the conversation we're about to have, and then we'll be right back.
Ready, action. So as the new co-chairs of the conference committee, what are you looking forward to the most?
About the conference?
Conference, about working with the committee.
I can't wait for the conference. I'm so excited for everybody to be together. We've been planning for a lot of months, just us conference committee. It'll be nice to get everybody in the same space.
Yeah, I think the point of this whole thing is to be here. And especially as the experience chair, I really look forward to just being at the conference, meeting people, talking to people, helping them have an awesome time.
And then with it being the longest running camp conference in our 104th year, what makes this camp conference different than others that you've either attended or heard feedback about? What makes this one different?
I've never been to another camp conference that has the same community that this conference offers. And I think when you come to this conference, you get really excited about camp. You get to meet really cool, really campy people. And most of the other conferences I've been to have a lot less of a community vibe and are a little bit less like weird and campy, which is why we're all here.
I think our speakers really enjoy coming to our conference. I think they like being a part of the community. I think a lot of them are camp people or camp adjacent people who really want to reconnect with camp and be a part of it. I think that's pretty special about our conference.
That's awesome. And then for first-time attendees, what would your advice be for them so they get the most out of their conference?
Try everything at this conference. If it's your first time here, get involved, go to different types of sessions. Don't just stay in one lane. Try a lot of different places and talk to some vendors.
You're surrounded by people who are excited to talk to you and get to know you. Don't be shy, even if it's hard and you're around a bunch of new people, because what's so great about this conference is the opportunity to meet all of these people who are a part of our New England camp community.
That's awesome. And what should first-time attendees bring?
A water bottle.
Water bottle, chapstick.
Yeah. Maybe a snack or two to have in your bag.
I mean, in general, I think a backpack or something to carry things with you.
Yeah.
Maybe not an unwieldy size, something small.
I don't think you'll be on your phone a lot, except for the app for the conference is super, super helpful to stay organized. So make sure your phone is charged. I would definitely bring like an extra battery if you've got it.
And as a pro-environment person, I would highly recommend you bring a coffee mug if you are like me going to consume a lot of coffee at the conference, because you can refill that baby all over the place.
That's good. That's good advice. Inspire, educate, connect is the motto of the conference, but can you give us another 3-word tagline for your experience?
Oh my God.
It's a lot of pressure.
I know.
Between, like, you can.
Okay, I definitely think fun.
Inspire, connect, educate. How is that?
Is that just the same thing but switched? Is that it? Is that what it really is?
Trying to hold in a laugh and that really hurt.
The snort, which should be definitely kept
Please keep
on.
the snort in the video.
That this plugged in.
Okay, what about like, oh, well, connect. Oh my God, I'm just saying the same things.
Connect, inspire,
grow, challenge.
community-ize.
Yeah.
That's a word.
Be a part of it all.
And then are either of you speaking at the conference?
No.
I think no. What is nice?
Oh, I am. Actually, I am.
Doing a session now.
I totally forgot.
Yes, Zach's doing a session now.
Yep.
On Carline.
Carlines.
Now that session,
Carlene.
My girl.
have been announced, which ones are you looking forward to?
Oh
most?
my gosh.
Are you excited to speak?
Well, I'm excited for my session about Carlines.
Oh, there are so many speakers. We have a huge number of new speakers coming that I'm very excited about welcoming to the conference for the first time. And I think there are some topics that people are going to really like hot button topics, new stuff, things that are really relevant.
I think the best thing about our conference is that we cover such a wide array of topics, and there's something for everybody, whether you're a frontline staff looking to improve your practices directly with kids or with other, or you're a middle manager trying to learn how to be a leader and a great supervisor, all the way up to camp owners and directors who have more financial liability concerns. So there's something for everybody. Dive deep into what the options are and pick the stuff that's right for you, or maybe where you want to be in the next 5 years.
Oh, and I can't wait for PK. It's going to be awesome.
Saturday session.
The Saturday session PK will be so good, super inspiring, some really practical stuff, some program ideas we can take back to our kids.
Thank you so much.
What a feeling. So Carly and Zach are phenomenal. You will meet them at the conference. If you see them, walk up, say hi, introduce yourself. If you have questions, comments, concerns, ponderances, ironic musings, anything around camp and or the conference, those are your people. All right, Gillian, now back to the agenda or the rundown. Shout out ChatGPT for getting me something to start with. I'm a much better copy editor than I am original author, but we can deal with both. Why this conference matters. I'm just going to say, because I've got, this is going to be 7 or 8 for me. I've been doing this a little bit longer than you. And from my perspective, going off of what Carly and Zach said, it's all about community. This conference is 800 to 1,000 people of your closest friends. It's 3 days. You're going to meet people and see them continuously throughout the conference. You're going to make relationships. You're going to make connections. The community aspect of this is genuinely what sets it apart. And when I say that, I mean it's very on brand to see people relax, comfortable, having meetings off on the side here and there, taking advantage of opportunities where they see them to just really make the most of the conference. So, and of course, for me personally, this is the unofficial start to the camp season. I think for a lot of our folks, this is the unofficial start to the camp season. It's the official end to the ACA conference season, but it is also the kind of unofficial kickoff to summer. So before we get into any kind of schedule highlights, I want to ask you a quick question, going out of order, throwing the curveball. This is year 2 for you. What's something from last year, before we get into this year and kind of what people should be on the lookout for, or how the flow goes? What is something, now that you've had some time to digest, what's the number one thing that you learned from last year's conference?
Ooh, that I learned? It's a marathon, not a sprint. And that, I think sometimes when you go to a conference, like, your mindset can kind of be like, oh, well, I'm here to learn. Like, I have to go to every session. I have to, like, really pack in as much, like, capital E education as I can. And I encourage that, and I think that's great. And I also went to a conference recently, and the thing that was most valuable for me was the connections I made with people. And, like, because I met those people, and now I'm in a little Tuesday group, and on Tuesday mornings we like our little accountability group, and like, how great. And so, like, I think the biggest thing that I've learned both doing this conference and attending other conferences is, like, the power of people is really, really strong. I like to think of the New England Camp Conference as a gathering of my 800 best friends who I haven't met yet.
It's fair. That's fair. So speaking of that, when folks get to the conference, and we're going to kind of walk, maybe not chronologically, but maybe thematically through this. When folks get to the conference, we do have pre-conference offerings. The New Camp Director Workshop is one of our keystone non-conference educational events that we offer. The curriculum has been revamped this year. It has been improved upon what was already a well-established program. And shout out to those instructors who have shaped it over the years. And shout out to Carrie Salvo for putting, once again, Carrie's got a couple shout outs early in this one. Can't talk about the conference without referencing.
She's kind of the machine behind the operation.
Yeah, there's a reason we're sitting here and talking about this and not her. Not that she wouldn't love to. So when people get to the conference, what is registration like that first day? What should they expect? Where do they go? They walk into the hotel, and I'm not saying direction, you're going to turn left 72 degrees, take 17 steps. But when people arrive, how do they just get going?
You're going to arrive and you're going to walk into big energy. Big energy. There's going to be a lot going on. And I will be the first to tell you that there's going to be a lot going on. And you might walk in there and be like, there's a lot going on here. Because there is. But honestly, the best thing to do before you get to the conference is, and I think I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but
Please.
To be prepared to walk into all that's going on, the best thing you could do is download our app beforehand to familiarize yourself with, like, where things are, how the days work, what programs you think you might want to go to. Then you're not walking in with nothing. But when you get there, come to registration, check in, and get your name tag. We really do need people to check in and get their name tag, because otherwise we don't know that you're there, and we want to know that you're there. If you have questions when you arrive, great. There will be a ton of volunteers at registration and in that area. And you'll find a lot of people who have been to the conference before and who can help you out.
I love that. The guidebook app, by the way, for those of you who have been there before, it's going to have a new look. Guidebook did an upgrade. So it's like
It's like
I want
pink
to say
and
it's
purple now.
I was going to say it was like a fuchsia magenta-ish kind of vibe going on, but pink and purple works. Don't listen. Don't yuck my yum. I just learned about the color wheel, and I'm very excited about my knowledge of color. I'm joking.
You know how
Gillian,
I love pink.
100%. So if you look for the guidebook app, or you go to the app store, you download the guidebook app, and then you can search for the NECP Conf 26. And also, if you're registered for the conference, check your email, check your conference communicate that there should be or will be or is information on how to get that downloaded. Great suggestion, because that is where everything lives. All of your answers are in there, including just connections about social events, about activities, about the education sessions. I mean, all the stuff that you need to plan out your day is going to be in there. And a note about the education sessions. Carly and Zach referenced it, that the program committee does a really, really good job on trying to find balance in our program. We have well-established speakers and time-tested and traditional topics that never go out of style. And we have always emerging trends and new names and faces, or new friends that we've met who said, we could probably learn something from these folks. So if you're going through that app, or when you're going through that app, and when you're kind of chunking out your conference, I really, really highly advise you to spend some time looking through these conference speakers and their sessions, and find some and start marking those in there. They're all over the place. There's no dearth of opportunity to both learn from peers in the field and professionals in the field at the New England Camp Conference. But like you said before, it's not all about the big E education. There is big E energy, by the way. So be ready for that. But you know what? I don't want to scare anybody though, Gillian. Before I go on to my next bullet point, I want to highlight the relaxation station. What are we calling it this year? Is it called the relaxation station?
Yeah, sorry. I'm not trying to like intimidate you. I want you to, the first time I went to a big conference, I walked in and I was like, whoa, no one told me.
Nah, man, this is actually for...
I'm a high energy person. Like, I don't mind being in a crowd, but even I was like, oh my God. And I felt a little bit like, what is going on? And so if you're feeling that way, if you're coming for the first time, that is totally normal.
And if you've been there for 10 years like me, this is kind of this is what was reminding me of it. I discovered it really for the first time last year. Went up there for 20 minutes, shoes off, crisscross applesauce, sitting there just quietly. And it helped. It really did. So, I mean, whether it's your first time, long time, I want to shout out the relaxation station, going to be upstairs somewhere. The crew does a really good job. I know it kind of sounds like, really? I'm telling you right now, if you need to escape, because it can get loud, it can get fast, it can get very
it's a great
sensory.
To, like, decompress. If you've got a little bit of sensory overload, it'll kind of help regulate. It's just a nice little break in the action.
I love it. All right, because that leads straight to a lot of your energy is going to be spent meeting people, or catching up with old friends, what we'd like to call, quote unquote, networking in the biz. And a quick shout out, once again, 3 shout outs for Carrie in the first 15 minutes. I got this from her, who she credits, I think, Lisa Fortenberry, who's a former board member, and other people. Your network is your net worth. And at the New England Camp Conference, there is no shortage of opportunities to do your networking, both in educational sessions where you're sitting there and you see the same person 3 times in a row, and finally you're like, all right, obviously our brains are vibing. Who are you? What's your story? Or you run into people in the hallway, or you come to intentional social opportunities, whether that is an affinity space for our BIPOC and LGBTQ population, whether that is the epic meetups happening before the Thursday night event, whether it's the big Thursday night social event. Come in and be communal with your fellow camp professionals. And there's opportunities for everybody to get up and get rowdy, to lay back and chillax, and kind of everything in between. And then on into Friday evening, you have a blank space in front of you. I'll write your name. You can come out to Epic Friday night. You can get with our buddy dinner that's put on through the committee. You might just say, I'm going to take some quiet me time and reflect. We're going to have a screening of a movie that's going on at this conference this year.
That's a new addition.
That's a new addition. Great band, by the way. So there's going to be no dearth of opportunities for you to put yourself out there, whether loudly, boldly, quietly, succinctly. You will find chances to make new friends traditions and keep the old ones. We're not going to start singing into that. But once again, shout out, your network is your net worth. And I think the New England Camp Conference and our sense of community and the intentionality we put into hoping that people feel welcome, I think you'll really find that at the New England Camp Conference. And a testament to you too, Gillian. That's 3 or 4 shout outs to Carrie in the first 15 minutes. But Gillian is the other half, or the balance to that as well. So shout out to you too, because I get super excited this time of year.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to give an example also of like how networking can progress. Is we had an
Please.
e-session this morning with a facilitator who we learned about because he was presenting at the ACA Southeastern Conference. And Carrie met him and liked him. And then I connected with him and talked with him. And then we did an e-session this morning and it was great. Right? So like, it's not only about, like, we have opportunities to meet new people, but it also allows us to like build our network and give opportunities to other people. But that's just one example of like a partnership that came out of a conference.
And I left off intentionally, almost by design, another incredible networking opportunity at the conference, and it's the New England Camp. It's the New England Camp Expo. It's a tradition unlike any other. Upwards of, how many vendors do we have this year? Over 100 in the hall. What's going on there?
4.
Got 104 vendors in our New England Camp Expo hall, and we have a wait list this year. And if you're one of those folks who's on the wait list, we can't thank you enough for showing that kind of want. And hopefully we'll see you next year, if not sooner, for the 104 businesses and consultants and industry experts showing up to not just sell. That's the thing I want to talk about the Expo hall. It is a very good vibe, as the kids would say in there, because it genuinely is about making relationships, solving some problems, seeing some new things, showing support for these businesses who, without which we wouldn't be as strong as we are. The New England camp industry is a leader in the national industry. People do really look to New England and the Northeast in general for what's going on. And in these expo halls and in these trade shows, these are the partners, the silent partners as far as the customers are concerned, but there are keystone partners in making sure that camps have the kind of experience that they're advertising and they can deliver on that. So when you go to the expo hall, go talk to these vendors, introduce yourself. Some of them are going to have some free stuff. They're going to want to tell stories just like you. I will say you're going to feel like it is a relationship time and less of a meat mart. And that's just my own personal experience putting it out there. But so the why do people go to that? I want to just cap it with that. Why? Everything I just said. Support these people, get support for your camp, get new ideas. And also, we're going to have some pretty cool opportunities in there for people to congregate with table talk discussions, bagels. We bring some incentives in there, and I think you're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. So the New England Camp Expo is genuinely a good time that is beneficial to you and your business to balance out the educational sessions that are going on the other side of the building or right outside.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to like connect with the businesses that you might already work with. Like your food service provider might be at our conference, but you probably don't spend a lot of FaceTime with them. You probably communicate over phone or email or whatever it is. There's an opportunity to like get some FaceTime with them, continue to build those relationships. And it's also an opportunity to build new relationships with new businesses. Oh, maybe you've never done boating before and now you're going to start doing boating. Great. You're going to meet some boat people. Like, it's both new relationships and strengthening your existing ones. And I think just in general, being in the expo hall, seeing what's on, what people have to offer, talking to people, it can just generally like spark your creativity and like get your gears kind of turning to start generating new ideas or possible improvements. Like, it's just a wealth of information, even if you're not like actively buying something.
And I want to piggyback that because some of that active information, it's also balanced with a lot of fun. And for me, you can go in there, and I got a 5-year-old, at home, Cooper Rose. And when I come back from these conferences, she loves the tchotchkes and some of the free samples and some of that. So I will say unofficially, free, going out there to get the stuff and seeing what's out there is kind of cool. But on top of that, what are some of the other things that make the expo more than just like a flea market of businesses that you walk around and take business cards? What are some of the other things that are going on this year? And you can add that comment that I know you got excited about.
Well, first I want to tell you about about an amazing thing I got at the conference last year. One of our vendors was packing up and like had a bunch of stuff that they had to either take home or not take home. And I was sitting at the table, like working while all the vendors were packing up. And he comes up to me and it was a plush s'more pillow, like a Squishmallow style, but it's a s'more. And he was like, "Do you want this?" And I was like, "You know I do. You know I want
don't
that."
Threaten me with cute stuff.
And I was like, "This is so soft and squishy." So I got a great pillow. If you stick around till the end, you might get something awesome.
Listen, I'm getting excited about that because that is what I was going to say. Sneaky good piece of advice. Go down to that expo hall in that last hour period because, like you said, they could have some stuff they got to get rid of. They don't want to schlep back. That's when people are feeling a little loose. They might have had a few more conversations and now they got some ideas turning. So please go there at the beginning. Help us help these vendors and these businesses feel proud for serving New England camps and feel proud to come into this New England Camp Conference. And then by all means, circle back around. Don't be strangers. Things evolve and they change even in the 48 hours that the New England Camp Expo goes on. What is there bingo happening again this year?
Okay, there's so many things going on this year in the expo hall because it's for the vendors, but it's also for you all. Like it's for our attendees, and we want it to be fun. We want it to be something that you want to be a part of. So we've got a few things going on. The first thing is very exciting. One of our vendors will be setting up a ninja course outside of the vendor hall. So it will be right outside. I don't know what kind of elements are going to be on it, but I bet you will be able to swing from something. So that's going to be super fun. Yes, we are bringing back bingo. So on Friday, when you come to the expo, you'll be able to pick up a bingo sheet that has all kinds of, you'll get a stamp and it's got all kinds of things on it. It might be like, find a vendor from each state or find a vendor who sells Crocs. I don't memorize it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, spoilers also.
I honestly don't know if those things are on it. But if you bring back a full bingo card, you will get entered into a raffle to win what? An iPad. So that's a little fun thing we're doing. We're also doing a new little contest this year for you and our vendors, and it's going to be a little booth contest. So we'll be giving out 2 prizes to our vendors. One is for most engaging booth, and one is for best decorated booth. So as you go around, think about that. Think about like who you had conversations with, like who really drew you in, like what do you feel like you really engaged with, and like did anyone have a really sick setup at their booth? You'll be able to vote, and the winners will get a little prize. And that's a little something for our vendors. And then in addition to both of those, we also have 3 cash raffles. One happens on, yeah, 3 cash raffles, like dollar bills. One happens on Thursday and 2 are on Friday. You get a ticket to those, like you automatically get a ticket for those. It will be in your name tag pouch when you get your name tag when you check in at registration, which you're gonna do. And then you just have to put it in a box. You just have to put the blue one in the blue box and the red one in the red box.
In the box.
And then you're entered into a raffle to win literal cash. So that rocks.
This is dope. This is what we're talking about. These are those kitschy things. You're going to go to conferences. You're going to go to sessions. You're going to meet people. This is all the off-the-shelf stuff that we know people expect and demand, which we feel proud of and we put intentionality into.
Yeah.
But it's this kind of stuff. Quick question for you. And not even a quick question. I actually saw that you put this in here. So we have 104 vendors. 86 educational sessions. Does that sound right?
That's correct.
And then who is our keynote? And I know the answer to this. We're playing our game. Let's talk about real quick. The keynote session is our friend
Jason Lavasser is his name.
If you've never experienced a session or time with Jason, he weaves music and instruction and outdoors and camp and culture and learning all into a phenomenal experience. And we're lucky that he has chosen to come to New England. He's also going to be doing a session. And then I also believe
Jason's going to be really involved throughout the duration of the conference. So he'll do his keynote on Thursday, and then on Thursday night, he's going to co-host or host our open mic karaoke night. That starts at 9:00. So that's going to be really exciting. And then on Friday, he's doing a session, and he is co-presenting that session with someone he works with at his camp.
No, see this is what I love. You get the practitioner, you get the that. So if you see Jason, walk up to him, introduce yourself. He does love talking to people. Sorry about throwing your business out there, Jason, but hey, you are keynoting and all that kind of stuff. So the keynotes Saturday morning. We have another. We always do not always. Let me rephrase that. I hate hyperbole that you can box yourself in. The last few years, we've reserved Saturday mornings for kind of another general or a plenary session of sorts. And we're bringing back one of my favorites from recent years, Project PK or PK, Pachekacha is how it's pronounced. And if folks remember 2 years ago, we did 2 years ago. I got I got it screwed up because it wasn't last year. Last year was the parent panel. Okay.
24.
So yeah, 2 years ago we did this, and Pachekacha is a style of presentation that takes a singular thing, and we ask camps, hey, do you have a program? Do you have an initiative? Do you have something that you can then use this Pachekacha, which is 20 slides, 20 seconds per slide, roughly about 7 minutes for the presentation, and it helps kind of cadence or pace your presentation, and it helps take what might be a lengthy explanation or sometimes a complex thing and break it down into a digestible idea that you can take with you. So Saturday morning, Project PK is back. Are we still calling it Project PK or is it just Pachekacha?
I think we're calling it Powered by PK.
Powered by PK. So there you go. Powered by PK.
That is what their branding material says.
Oh. Well, there you go.
It is a standardized presentation format. Like it is a licensed thing that we are using to present our program innovations.
So program innovations, the theme, powered by PK. I'm excited about that. A couple years ago, we had things called Banana Olympics, fish painting, things like that, where on the surface, it gets your attention and then you realize you really can walk away with some of these ideas. All right. I would be remiss if I didn't bring up, and this is kind of tangential to the expo because I don't believe they're going to be in the expo hall, but we did get some cool stuff sent to us for our volunteers this year. Because new this year, if you want to get involved at the New England Camp Conference, 2 quick asides. 1, you can volunteer for the conference committee. We have a big conference committee, 20 to 25 people. Diverse in any way that you can splice it in our community, both by program and by personnel. And we're always looking for more. I don't mean like growing it and like we need 50 people or everything, but there definitely is a planning committee and they break up into experience and to program, just like you saw with Carly and Zach. And then they break it down even further. And then us staff members, we support those different subcommittees and committees at the conference and in preparation for the conference. So that's that kind of all in. I've been to the conference maybe a time or two, and I really want to get involved. That's a conversation you can have. Find Gillian, find Carrie. I'm sure that they're happy to at least, talk to you and set up a time to talk. The other side is we need like 50-ish volunteers day of or throughout the days of the conference to make this thing go on. And we're talking like room hosts, people to help with directions. What are some things that people can volunteer for, Gillian?
Sorry, but your audio just went totally bananas.
I'm sure it did, and it'll sound great.
What you just said, but I heard.
What'd we lose? Where'd we? Good.
Here are the things there are a lot of things you can volunteer to help out with on site. If you're going to be in Manchester on Wednesday, we have a lot of pre-conference setup that we do. And a lot of it is like fun little tasks like stuffing name badges or like putting things in bags, like making little packets of things so everything's ready to go. And then over the course of 3 days, you could volunteer to be a greeter, which kind of means you stand at the front door and you welcome people as they come in. You say, hey, what's up? Got any questions? You could man our registration desk. You could help check people in. You could be, if you're good with audio, video, tech, please sign up to be a tech troubleshooter. You know that our tech never works when we want it to. Hopefully it will all work, but you can volunteer to be floating around in case the speaker needs a different dongle or something goes wrong. If there's a particular session that you know you're going to go to, you can volunteer to be a room host for that session, or an area room host, which means in the time in between the sessions, you'll kind of be in that general area. You can answer questions, welcoming people, and then once people are in their sessions, you can go. I think a big part of it is just to make sure that we have like point people in each section of the hotel and of the conference center. So like wherever you are, you will see someone in a volunteer t-shirt that you know you can ask a question to. But volunteering doesn't mean you're not volunteering at the expense of something else. Like you can volunteer and go to whatever sessions you want. There are lots of opportunities. There are lots of sessions. We do on Thursday and Friday, we do kickoffs, and on Saturday we do a closing. So if you wanted to do like a little bit of a like group lead kind of thing, that might be for you. And there's one of those in each room. So there are lots of opportunities. If you have questions or want to like talk about it, or you're like, I want to volunteer, but I don't know what to volunteer for, give Haley, our volunteer manager, a call. She will definitely be able to help you figure out like what might be a good fit.
Shout out Haley. And something else that we're doing new this year for our volunteers, you dropped it in there. If you volunteer at the New England Camp Conference, you get a shirt, and you get a shirt, and you get a shirt. What and rumor has it they're pink this year. Is this accurate? Or are we not telling this? I'm so sorry. If that's supposed to be,
it's a secret. I can neither confirm nor deny what color they are, but I will tell you they're really cute. They're really cute. Thank you to our friends at CC Creations.
Thank you.
They did a great job. They look awesome. They're really fun. I think you'll like them.
There are certain things that are super on brand for the New England Camp Conference, and our partnership or relationship with CC Creations over the years has been one that we genuinely cherish. They are not necessarily local to New England, but they are certainly family here in New England. So thanks again to CC Creations. And this year also, I'm hearing we're probably going to do a raffle for our volunteers, a separate raffle to say thank you. So you're going to get your t-shirt, and then you will get entered into a raffle that is going to be exclusive to that group of volunteers.
Yeah. For every volunteer shift you complete, you commit to, you'll be entered into that day's raffle. So if you do 3 volunteer shifts on Thursday, your name will get entered 3 times, and we'll do raffle draws for each day at the end of the day. And we've got some fun prizes. We've got some Yeti tumblers, we've got some gift cards, we've got we've got some gourmet granola that one of our new vendors has donated to our conference for us to give out as prizes. So it's going to be really fun, and it's just another way that we can say thank you. This conference really does run on volunteers. We could not do it without volunteers. So we want to show our appreciation in as many ways as we can. So you will get a cute t-shirt. You will also get entered into a raffle. I will also personally tell you how much I appreciate you.
That last thing, you cannot put a price on. Breaking hot off the presses, sources tell me we have some Crazy Creek chairs that might be on their way, part of that volunteer raffle too. So if you don't, that'd be a lot of fun because everybody loves sitting on the ground. Listen, if you got to sit on the ground, you might as well be comfortable. Get out that Crazy Creek. All right. This has been good. I appreciate it for anybody who's been sticking around going, oh, okay, this is all good stuff, but I'm new here. What about what do I wear? What do I bring? What do I do? We've talked about some stuff that everybody can do, especially first timers, to kind of get acclimated. Download the app. Download the app. Download the app. Go ahead and try to pre-select some of your sessions. That way you're not just standing there going, what do I do with my hands, when everybody disappears and you end up sitting in the back of a room of something that you really don't connect with. And then you walk outside, you realize right next door was the thing I needed to be at.
And if you're going with a team, like if you're going with multiple people from your camp or your organization, I would recommend splitting up. Like every session block has between 6 and 11 sessions happening at the same time. So if you're going with a group, I would try to coordinate so that you're covering as much ground as you can.
Spend time in the expo hall. We can't reiterate that enough. When in doubt, head on down to the expo hall, walk around, clear your mind, get some free stuff, play bingo, etc. Water bottles. I mean, we're camp people. Bring a water bottle. There are water stations throughout the hotel as a conference center. You know, we do have the cups and the water bottles, but again, or the cups and the water stations. But again, water's always in vogue, especially with our folks. Layer your clothing.
So a thing that we do not have a lot of control over is the temperature. There are a lot of people,
both inside and outside, right?
Inside and outside. We just simply don't have a lot of control over the thermostat. That being said, some areas of the conference center get very warm and some get very cold. I would recommend light layers. We are casual, like we are camp people. This is not a business attire conference. No. Wear your camp t-shirt, wear your favorite flannel, wear your Crocs. I will be personally looking out for Crocs because I need a new pair. So if I see your Crocs and I like them, I will tell you. Like you want to start working on that Choco tan? Now's the time. You will be inside, but it's a mindset.
Yeah, definitely layer up, because when you show up and you go park in the expo, you go park in the parking lot, and then it's cold, it's freezing, you're walking in, and then you go up that escalator, and by the time you get all the way to the other end of the hotel at registration, you might have shed a layer or two. Yeah, so you might, a couple pro tips, maybe leave the jacket in the car because it is going to be warm in the actual conference area. It starts out the day kind of chilly and then it goes from there. Bring your water bottle, wear comfortable shoes because you are going to be moving around quite a bit. If you're wearing Crocs, be on the lookout for Gillian. She might be, creeping on you. Talk to people. Food. What do people do about food, Gillian, if they're hungry while they're at the conference?
So there's a couple of food situations that come included in your registration. On Thursday afternoon at our grand opening for our expo hall, there'll be past hors d'oeuvres, little snackies. There'll also be a cash bar. On Friday, like mid-morning, we're going to do bagels in the expo hall. That's also when our board president meet and greet happens. So there's some time in the expo hall to have some bagels, meet some vendors, talk to our outgoing and our incoming board president. And then on Saturday morning, right before our all conference session, there's like a light breakfast situation. Concessions will be available at the hotel each day during lunchtime. So like noonish to 2ish, I think it's open. Don't quote me on that, but that will be in the guidebook app. So concessions, like sandwiches, burgers, salads, like kind of grab and go things. There's also a restaurant. There's a restaurant in the hotel. There's also a ton of restaurants within 2 blocks of the hotel.
Or downtown Manchester, yeah.
So there are lots of food options. There's you can DoorDash if you're into DoorDash. But there is some food options included with your registration.
And then on top of all that, like, if you got to bag some trail mix in your backpack, you got to throw some, I wouldn't say beef jerky in a conference setting. That's a little odorous, even though I'm a personal jerky lover myself, but you're picking up what I'm putting down. And for the coffee lovers out there, I'm going to say it, I'll be frank. There's limited coffee opportunities at the conference proper, but there's a Starbucks that's attached, or a coffee shop that serves Starbucks products attached to the expo hall, limited hours there.
Yeah, they close at like noon or something.
Yeah, so for the coffee lovers out there, try to plan ahead. If you can't plan ahead, bud at acanewengland.org. Yeah. I will be the unofficial. We're going to make sure we
find Bud. He will be making lining.
I will probably have a thermos in my backpack with Hot Joe on demand. Got to bring your own creamer though. I like it black. All right, we're going to land the plane in a few more minutes, but before we do, what we're most excited about. Host share each one. I'm gonna go first just because I saw your note and I like it, but I don't want to steal it. So we're gonna share a session, a person they hope to see, and one thing they look forward to every year. All right. I'm going to actually, my session that I'm looking forward to, and by the way, there's 80 some odd sessions, there's the keynote, there's everything. I don't want somebody to be out there be like, why didn't you pick mine? I don't know, man. For the same reason I didn't pick the other 85. It wasn't on my front of mind. But the session I'm looking forward to the most, if I can get out and see it, Hoppy is back. Hoppy Price. I don't know what the title of the session is, but Hoppy's energy, if you see HOPPI Price, HAPPI Price, it's worth it. It's one of those that you go check out. Yeah. What's up?
Dr. Hoppy.
See, this is what I'm talking about. So that's the session that I'm looking forward to the most, just because I remember the visceral reaction I had. I was setting up for something else in the room that Hoppy was presenting, and I just remember I ended up staying because I was like, "This is dope." So Hoppy, I'll try to track you down. What's a session you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to a session that we did last spring as an e-session that is coming to the conference this year. I'm excited to see how it's developed and to see what it's like in person. I think it went really well when we did it online. She's a newer to us speaker. She did it. Her first was an e-session for us, and now she's coming to the conference. That's Haley's OT, occupational therapy session on Saturday morning. So I'm just excited to see how it's developed and to see it in person.
Haley Pogachevsky, by the way, not our Haley,
Yes.
Haley Mousseau. Different spelling, different Haley, same phenomenal human. All right, one person, speaking of phenomenal humans, what's one person that you are hoping to see at the conference? You go first this time.
I love seeing like the random people who I have met or worked with or went to camp with over the past 20 years who I didn't know were going to be there. And like, I manage the registrations. Like, I see every person who registers for the conference, and I still sometimes, like, again, there's 800 people. I'm so sorry, I don't memorize every name on the list. So sometimes it's a surprise. I see someone who I knew at camp when I was 9, and I'm like, what are you doing here? That's crazy. So I love seeing like people that are unexpected or just people I've known for a really long time getting involved.
I'm going to be specific with mine on this one, and it's because it's become a little tradition of mine. Greg Jutkowitz. I mean, I see him every once in a while outside. We interact. He's just around the corner from our office. If you don't know Greg Jutkowitz, he was the conference chair for a long time. He served on our board of directors. He's been involved in ACA for, God, probably pushing 20 years now. I'm not going to try to date him, but I'll take my hat off so I can date myself for those watching on YouTube. Greg Jutkowitz does more than just what you see, and a lot of it is he'll never talk about, we'll never talk about. But what I end up getting to do is be next to him during our general sessions, and it's kind of a position I've come to cherish, where he is genuinely running all of this AV, DJ, the sound, the microphones, and I'm just smiling next to him, and I'm clicking next on the slides for our keynote. But everybody comes up to me afterwards and says, "Thank you, that was wonderful, thank you." And Greg, to his credit, just sits there quietly because I'm like, no problem. We love doing it. So Greg, shout out. I'm looking forward to, once again, a tradition unlike any other. Bud and Greg at the DJ booth for our general sessions.
Greg really goes above and beyond for us with AV, tech, audio, sound, lights. He kind of does it all. We love having him. He's great to work with, and we're just very lucky to have him in our corner and in our community.
All right. Last but certainly not least, this is kind of amorphous. It can be a thing, one thing that we're looking forward to. And then if you stick around for a few more minutes, if you're not going to be at the conference, we do more than just the New England Camp Conference, and we got a pretty busy spring coming ahead. But before that, we got to get through the conference. So, Gillian, what is your one thing that you're kind of looking forward to this year?
Well, this is only my second New England Camp Conference. So I am looking forward.
I didn't even see your note.
I'm looking forward to knowing what the heck is going on. Like, it can be hard to be new, and especially new. Last year was my first New England Camp Conference. I had started about 6 months prior, so it was like really new, and it was just a lot all at once, and it was amazing, and like an amazing 4 days for me. I had the best time, and it was like the most new information I've ever taken in all at once. And so I'm excited to not be new. And being new is great, And when you are one of the people who's running the conference, having the prior knowledge is so extra helpful.
I love your note of knowing what the heck is going on. And then something will change and we'll have to pivot and you'll do great.
Totally.
I think the thing I'm looking forward to, quote unquote, the most, it was gonna be Queen City Cupcakes, because last year I went down to Queen City Cupcakes, and I'm gonna find a reason to go down there again this year. Whatever we need, I'm gonna make a run. But I think the thing that I enjoy the most is, and the first time I really saw it and took notice of it, it was year in and year out. There would be a group from, I want to say it was Camp Harborview in Boston. And after the general session, whoever was there, they would all go up in front of our big conference sign and they would get a group picture. And then the next year they did it. And the next year they did it. And I've noticed that it's become kind of this thing. And I think the thing I look forward to the most is when I see these groups either right when they get there or on their whatever time it is, when you see like, oh my God, there's the 7 people from this organization, or look, there's that one guy. He called us last fall. He's here by himself, but at the end of the conference, he's taking a selfie in front of the sign. I like seeing that the connection people make with our conference, on kind of that personal retail level. And where my brain goes is when I see him taking a picture with our sign, that's when it makes me really feel like we've done our job and made them feel welcome and part of the community. So that's it, folks. Go ahead.
I want to. Can I say one more thing?
That wasn't it, folks.
No, I just want to say a thing that I really loved last year that really helped me feel like I was like really coming into the community and made me feel really great about like being in my role here and being at AC New England was finally getting to meet people who I'd only ever emailed with or seen on Zoom. I email a lot of people in our network, in our community, and there are some people that I go back and forth with, and I never see them in person. And so if we had an email exchange and you are at the conference, if I don't find you first, please come find me. I would love to see you and like meet you in person. I'd love to put a face to a name, and it just builds those connections so we know who each other is. We're real people behind our computers, and I think the New England Camp Conference is a really wonderful opportunity to remember that.
And if you don't get a chance to take advantage of the New England Camp Conference opportunity this year, but you want to get involved or engaged with some of our upcoming events, Gillian, what do we have coming down the pike?
I'm going to be honest, we have a lot.
Preach, sister.
It's stacked. After the conference, we have 2 e-sessions, both about staffing. One is about like staffing and your finances, and one is about building your on and off season teams. We also have an in-person staff training workshop that's going to be here at our office. That one is specifically designed for overnight camps. Most of our programs are almost always like for both day and overnight. This one is particularly for overnight programs. But that's going to be a like opportunity to spend the day looking at your staff training, going over it, making the fixes, seeing what's working, what's not, and like being with other people to help kind of like get started on that. We also have another in-person session at the end of April that's going to be about navigating challenging dialogue. We also are going to have in early May an aquatic safety session that's going to be facilitated by our friend Katie Johnson from Chalmers Camp Insurance, and there's going to be a whole panel with her. That's going to be really great. We also have another offering for our new camp director workshop that's going to be in Waltham, Massachusetts. That course does help fulfill some of the Massachusetts Department of Health requirements for camps, like training requirements. So if you've got new staff, it's a great thing to send them to because it does help cover some of that training. We also have 2 more opportunities for youth mental health first aid training. We have one in April and one in May. This is a free course. We are part of a grant that allows us to offer this course for free. Free, I'll say it again. It is youth mental health first aid. It's through Mental Health America. And I would highly recommend this course. I took it myself last year because I wanted to like know what this course was that they're offering. Yeah. If you have it, this is a great opportunity for your seasonal staff, for your newly hired counselors, for maybe people who are newer to working with kids or working in a camp setting. It is one day. It is free. I would really, really encourage you to send your frontline staff to this training if they haven't been to it. All of this information is on our website. You can check out our events page. I know it was a lot, but we do have a lot. Like, the camp conference is great. And I know that not everyone can get to it. It is in Manchester. It's in person. It's 3 days. Like, I get that it's not possible for everyone. So we try really hard to make sure that there are opportunities for everyone to get involved with ACA New England and get involved with professional development in the camping world. So we do have a lot coming up in April and May as well.
Freaking love that. And as always, keep your eyes peeled for Coffee and Camp Chat. Usually on an every other Friday cadence. This time of year, the conference throws a little wrench in the schedule, but it'll be on our events page, acanewengland.org/events. That's a very light lift. That's a very much, it is what it sounds like. Grab your coffee or whatever on a Friday morning and just come chop it up about anything going on in camp. We're going to have a couple of live options there too for Coffee and Camp Chat. You'll hear about those at the conference and learn about more of those later. Gillian, this is fun. This time in 3 weeks, we'll be at the conference. So if you have questions or anything, oh, actually, hold on. That's for us recording. This comes out. I got to go back to podcast land. In 2 weeks, we'll be on the Friday event, depending on where you listen to us. Folks, if you've got questions, comments, concerns, ponderances, ironic musings, anything about ACA New England and or camp or the conference, go over to acanewengland.org. Take any of our names at acanewengland.org. You can call, smoke signals, carrier pigeons, send your owl if they're not busy. Whatever it is, keep being there for one another. We're always going to be here for you. Don't forget to sign up for the conference. Gillian, thank you so much.
Thanks, bud.